Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I had to go to my son's, the last field day of either one of my kids' schooling days. So no more field day, but today I had to go watch a video of the tug of war. My son's side won. Everything was good. I always forget how much fun these kids have doing that. Okay, here we go. eGrag Crypto. I love watching these guys that are doing charts. I love when they all kind of are singing in tune, like they all see something. I don't know much about how it all works, but I like to see it anyway. XRP Bitcoin major move is brewing, and this was tweeted out as of this morning. Yeah. So major move is brewing. XRP price in terms of dollars. Bitcoin, look, they've got Bitcoin 30 to 50. They got XRP 350 to 585. In November 2022, the post clearly and explicitly shows the 5-wave taking XRP to this. The below falling wedge formation will take XRP to that if XRP closes above multi-year descending trend line. Stay steady. And then JB here, he says, all eyes on Ripple, and I think that's as true a statement as it gets. This is an article from The Block. Ripple industry awaits to see if XRP case will be a small splash or a tsunami. I'm hoping for a tsunami. Today, let me do a refresh on this. Today we've got a 53 cent. We've had as high as 54 cent in the last 24 hours. This has happened several times over the last 2 or 3 weeks where we have a major surge and then it pulls back not much but a little bit and kind of sits there for 2 or 3 days and then does a major surge. And in my experience, a lot of the surges in XRP happen on a Friday night. Guess what day it is? That's right. Okay, this guy right here has been on fire lately. He's been putting out. Apparently, he's a PhD. His name's Peter Saint. Would you say Onge? Onge, I don't know how you say his last name, but anyway, he's apparently an economist and really smart guy. I've been enjoying watching his videos, so I wanted to make sure I gave him some credit here. You can follow him on Twitter at PROFSTONGE. He's also got a YouTube channel. I subscribed today it's PROFSTONGE. This guy has 1.15 thousand subscribers. He deserves to have a lot more than that. And here's another one of his videos to prove it. Here he's talking about what a great video. Where is, if the dollar as the reserve currency falls, where's the money going to go?
Hey guys, after yesterday's video, I had a question. What does de-dollarization mean for the rest of the world? Broadly speaking, it's bad. The reason is, say you're dating a nice boy and you meet somebody better. Maybe it's gold, maybe it's Bitcoin, maybe it's a gold-backed currency like the Swiss franc used to be. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, it's bad for the old boyfriend, but it's good for you and it's certainly good for the new guy. On the other hand, let's say your boyfriend's turned into a monster. He takes you to McDonald's on your birthday. He doesn't even get you a sundae. He drinks too much. He complains about your carbon footprint. He gambles with the rent check. In that bad boyfriend scenario, all those foreigners selling their previously dreamy dollars, now they take a hit on the way out, a little kick in the butt to send them on their way to whatever loser will take them in, the next best store of value. The first sellers take a small hit, maybe 1%. The last sellers take a big hit, and this is why the rush accelerates. So where do they go? Some will shift out of fiat currency altogether to gold or Bitcoin or commodities or something else. This is because once money's on the move, it's temporarily easier to put it somewhere interesting. The transaction costs are temporarily relatively low. And of course, some countries will remain in the abusive relationship, either because they live next door like Mexico, so it would be really awkward breaking up. They have to use dollars whether they like it or not, or because they're desperate. It was so good, they just want things to be the way they were. You paying hundreds of billions propping up NATO or bailing out their banks every tequila crisis. Still, the vast majority of flight will be to other fiat currencies, to the euro or yen or the UK pound or some other currency that's also afflicted by an inflationary central bank using the inflation, recession, bailout cycle to usurp the liberties and fortunes of their people. What would that most likely scenario look like? Well, today the US makes up about 60% of foreign exchange reserves, while the euro, yen, and pound together make up about 30%. China is 3%. But going by GDP, the US should be about 25%, not 60. The euro, yen, and pound should be about 23%, a little bit lower than today. That's because these currencies are quasi-reserve currencies, especially for some neighboring countries. And China should be about 12%, about 4 times higher than it is today. So if it's a fiat free-for-all, we'd expect the US share to trend down towards its GDP share, losing about half of foreign demand. Then if the US is particularly bad, say if the US government weaponizes the dollar to conduct proxy wars or bully other countries, that percent could keep sliding into the gutter with the Chinese yuan, implying about a 90% drop in foreign demand for the dollar, a proper rush for the exits. By the way, these changes in reserve currency have happened many times in history, in fact, about every 100 years, meaning we're due, counting from World War I, when the dollar took over. The most recent being when the dollar replaced the pound after the Bank of England jumped off a cliff to finance World War I. That was definitely a bad boyfriend scenario. It was the same with the franc after the French Revolution, another very bad boyfriend. Then the Dutch guilder, which was an okay boyfriend, but it was targeted by sociopathic pickup artists in London and Paris. You might argue this is the China scenario today, although that's only part of it. The dollar has definitely not been a very good boyfriend. In fact, you'd have to go back to the Dutch guilder in the 1600s or Venice in the 1300s to get a proper good boyfriend scenario, as each took over from inflationary regimes in, respectively, the Spanish Empire and the gamble with the rent check Florentine Republic. Meanwhile, back here in 2023, we'll be watching. See you next time.
At the beginning, he said that some of the money would go to gold and to Bitcoin. What if there was a bridge digital currency with the only legal clarity of all the digital assets when this happened, and all of a sudden that digital currency became another option and a better option than just about any currency and Bitcoin? How about that? What would happen then? Timing sure is interesting right now, isn't it? Jason Cousins from Glint, who is one of my sponsors, U.S. banking systems dysfunction signals end of dollar-based reserves, era shifting to multi-currency reserve. And by the way, do you remember he was talking about all these other currencies that the money would flow into? Remember when Chris Larson said that XRP would be kind of like the Swiss franc? Remember that? To multi-currency reserve system and boost gold with 18 trillion foreign debt. U.S. faces financial challenges, central banks to prevent collapse, and real economy suffers with credit seize up. Then from Gold Telegraph, reports have suggested that the proposed BRICS currency will be backed by gold and other commodities such as rare earth elements. The emergence of hard assets versus paper assets at the sovereign level, history-defining stuff. Don't forget to go check out Glint, one of my sponsors. I buy physical gold. I buy XRP and I put it on my ledger, and I buy gold in my Glint account because that way I have a certain amount of my gold as spendable gold because I have a debit MasterCard where I can literally go buy groceries with my Glint card. Links in the top of the description. Tell them DAI sent you. Now, what do we have right here? I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna skip this. Yes, I'm gonna skip this. Number of individuals holding 1 Bitcoin has reached a new milestone, surpassing 1 million holders. Congratulations. Now, look at this. Just in U.S. government sold 9,800 Bitcoin and intends to sell 41,500 more Bitcoin connected to Silk Road. Now, I find this fascinating. David Schwartz is joking around here about the 500. For those of you that don't know, there's a lot of people for years in the XRP community who, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, but who have thought that $589 is the price that XRP would go to. There's also some that say that that's actually a reference to Comex Rule 589. Okay, which that's probably more where I lie, is that someone wanted to relate things to that. But David Schwartz says, I swear, I was just getting gas today and saw this. I don't mean to encourage crazy conspiracies. Seriously, 589 there. But what's interesting is Brad Garlinghouse also thinks that it's funny. Now, either thinks it's funny or likes the whole topic, whatever. But they're watching, I can tell you that. 589 right there. He's got it set. He's had it set for a long time to where he follows exactly 589 people on Twitter. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that both Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz, they know about the 589 things. Maybe they're talking about Comex Rule 589. Who knows?